All right. Hello, 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 everybody. Please let me know in the comments how everything sounds. I'm just using the shotgun mic instead of the old handheld. Oh, this is on. Unplug that. Better. Okay. But how's it going, everybody? Like I said, happy Black Friday, happy AMA Friday. We're gonna maybe I'll answer some AMAs on here as well. But please let me know how this sounds, if the volume needs to go up or anything like that. And if it seems out of sync, I can adjust it. It's always interesting doing live stream because you never really know what's gonna happen. So anyway, yeah, I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. We did. Ate way too much, and it sounds killer. Sweet. Okay, well, yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, we had a great Thanksgiving. I hope all of you guys did. I hope you ate everything you wanted to eat. There's nothing more disappointing than having a holiday and your favorite thing not being on the table. I love turkey. I don't like ham for Christmas or Thanksgiving. I've never been a ham guy. And so anytime I've gone to an event, like a family thing or something, and you go, like, get your plate and you get in line, you know, and there's no turkey, there's just ham, I'm always a little broken inside. Let's see. I've got some questions here. I'm going to be flying solo today. Matthew is with the fam. Of course, it is holiday weekend, so the guys are with their families. Jeremy, good morning. Drew, good morning. Hello, everybody. I don't hate ham. I just don't want it on holidays. Do I still love the Two-Rock Joey Landreth? So the Joey, there it is. I don't play it that much. Honestly, the amp that gets the most playtime is the Bloomfield and my Deluxe. I think the Joey is awesome, but it's very specific in its sound. It is a very unique thing with the 310 cab and just the EQ of it. I really feel like it's an amp that needs a pedal board. Sorry, for me, because I need more of a pushed preamp sound that is a platform, you know, and that's not typically how I approach playing any amp. So for me, when I'm diving into an amp like preamp, okay. All right, is everything okay? All right, I think I think something got disconnected. Weird. It says I'm not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. How does it look, guys? Does it sound okay? I mean, you said it sounded fine. Does it look okay? Does the stream look all right? I mean, from what I can see on my little YouTube window over here, it looks okay. Very strange. Using a hardwired connection and all that. Maybe I've got my settings. Oh, I've already got a thumbs down. Great. Maybe I got my settings set to be like too strong. Audio is cutting out. Choppy for a second. Okay. Weird. Stream status poor. Man. YouTube. Really fun. Okay, anyway. But yeah, all of that I was trying to say is that the Joey Mjolnir is a very cool amp, but not something I would opt to play every day because it's really loud and I want a little bit more preamp gain. Man, thank you guys. I see Steve just got a Blackout Oracle, and that's awesome. Someone said they didn't see an Oracle. Steve might have bought the last one that we have ready to go, let me just double check. He did. There are no more ready to go, so I'm going to update this listing. Do it right here live on the show. Dispatch sold out. The orders. Hold on. We'll just do a pre-order. Bold, italics, give it a heading, and we'll make it, we'll say, add some more inventory, and bada boom, there we go. We're back. Okay. Let's see, reading some questions here. Oracle not showing up. Okay, it should be back now. Let me double check. It's right there, so you should be seeing it. But awesome. Oxbox with the Joey Landreth amp made a wonderful home. I don't like running pedals. I don't like running amps here through an aux box unless I'm recording. I like being able to experience the full volume of the amp in the room. And yeah, I don't use it as the aux box as an attenuator. I don't think is all that great as a recording device. I love it, but yeah. Have I played any of the Victory V4 hybrid amps? I have not. I've got my copper right there, but I've never played anything other than the standard amps. I played a V40, some of the other ones, but never tried any of like the pedal amps or anything like that. But yeah, let's look at some of the pedals that we're doing for Black Friday. I'm just gonna blop. There we go. I think I'm figuring out this whole here. Let's do that so you can't see every tab I have. So for let me get the chat pulled back up so I can actually see what you guys are. Well, that's annoying. Okay, never mind. I can pull up the chat here. It's just delayed. So we are doing just 7 of our current lineup in the Blackout format. It's a big thing to consider when you look at, okay, we make X number of pedals. Do all of them get the Blackout treatment? Is it worth, risking having stuff sit on a shelf? And some of these, very well might. The Oracle always sells really well whenever we do limited colorways, which is great. Golden Fleece tends to as well. Mjolnir sometimes does, sometimes doesn't. Argo we've never done in a colorway like this, so it's really exciting to do something like this. But yeah, so here they are. We've got the Oracle, the Argonaut, Golden Fleece, the Choop, the Argo, the Mjolnir, and the Olympus. The Olympus, I always want to give it love. Oracle's still not there. Well, I'm looking at it, brother. I'll refresh. There it is. Poo. Boom. There it is. So, I don't know. Should be there. DC California already had the Blackout. Nice. Yeah, the Blackout, the older Blackout fleece is great and definitely a shop favorite, but we wanted to do it in the mini format. I don't really do a whole lot of mini format colorways. We did, Red Russo and stuff, but Golden Fleece haven't done a whole lot of that. We did the summer vibes. You've been refreshing for an hour. I don't know what to tell you, man. We're looking at it right here. I'm clicking it. It's right there. So hopefully Canada. I don't know. Should be fine. It's not blocked from international browsers or anything. I love this little Argonaut. I think this is really a fun thing because like the Argonaut's already a really cool pedal to kind of like sneak onto your board, and now doing the Blackout version, I mean the only thing you can really see is the foot switch and the LED. Like I said, we've never done an Argo like this. We haven't done many limited colorways of the Argo, but the Argo was always one that I got asked a lot to do in a Blackout. There was specifically one guy that worked at Carter Vintage, Bo, who asked me all the time, like, can you make a black Argo? I was like, I will one day. And there it is. So I hope he gets one because he's been asking me to get it for ages. Oh yeah, can I share the link? There we go. Can't read the label in most Blackouts. Yeah, it's kind of hard. I mean, that's kind of the point, right? Jesse, Rude Tech. Yeah, your pedal board could look like it's wearing a tuxedo. We did the Choop, which is awesome. I think I like that we just didn't mess with the art. You know, we were thinking about it, but just keeping it simple, just the same art. Mjolnir, looking good. You can really see how reflective and shiny the text is. And like I said, the Olympus, which I'm hoping one day the Olympus is going to get the love it deserves, because I really think it's one of the best sounding overdrives we make. And it's just different and interesting. You get a 404 error. I don't know, man. It's really weird. The Argonaut is just an octave up, yeah. So for those that might not be as familiar with the lineup, the Oracle is an analog Bucket Brigade device Echo. Argonaut is just a dirty-ish, clean-ish octave up, akin to the Green Ringer. The Golden Fleece is a one knob fuzz. That knob is just for volume. The Argonaut is a Prescription Electronics COB fuzz clone that's way more aggressive. Chupacabra is ZZ Top in a box. The Mjolnir is our flagship clone, and clone with a K. And the Olympus is based on the Clark Gainster, which is a really cool and kind of hard to come by overdrive that is a lot of people consider to be a great alternative to a Klon, because it does similar things but different. I don't know. It's just a lot of fun. Clear your cookies and cache. There you go. Maybe that's it. Restart your computer. There you go. Set it and forget it. That see, the Argonaut's a perfect one for that, or the Golden Fleece, because you don't really have to mess with it. Jeremy, thinking about getting the Hephaestus for your birthday next month. Ever since trying it at the Gear pop-up, you knew you had to have it. The Hephaestus, man, what a fun fuzz, and just interesting and unique, and does things. You like every time I play it, it's like it shocks me with the tones I can coax out of that thing. But in addition to all this, I mean, we're a pedal company, so we're doing 50% off everything else on the website. The Blackout stuff is not discounted at all. It should say that right there. But everything else, we're countdown timer. What is that? Weird. I didn't know it did that. Don't like that at all. I'm gonna get rid of that right now. Hit me up with some questions while I'm hiding this this link live on air here. Thanks for shipping your Mjolnir. You're welcome. I've been packing stuff up. The Blackout pedals are all done. All the ones from the first batch are all built, but they're not boxed yet. So everything else, if you place a normal pedal order for any of the standard units, I will be taking those to the post office after I'm done here. So yeah, still no more Shiz. I hate that name. Hate the name Shiz. But yeah, there's other things happening with that. Let's see here. Pedals. There we go. That'll fix that. Click. That should fix it. Okay. But yeah, the shiz idea, which I hate that name. God, I hate that name. The Shoyles Fuzz. We're just transitioning some ideas into other things. All the prototypes, I got so discouraged working on all these prototypes and them never working or sounding right or just squealing with feedback. It was just always a headache. And so I decided, you know what? I'm going to focus on other things. And it's just got pushed to the very bottom of the pile. And I know that kind of sucks for all the people who are wanting it. But, you know, it's like I only have so much mental bandwidth and thinking about the things that are actually going to be worth it. I do think that a Shoyles Fuzz is a cool idea and it could be worth it. But I don't know. I don't know if that is truly worth all the effort that it would take for me to turn into a viable product. So, Jesse, same with you and the cool S. Man, see, it's hard. It's really hard. Tyler Wilson's got a Calling City Limits coming today. Awesome. Incredible. Let's see here. Get some more new Herculean next year. Good question. I don't know. What's my favorite Thanksgiving dessert? Pumpkin pie. 100%. I love pumpkin pie. My wife made a homemade one. It was fantastic. Differences between the normal Mjolnir and the Wildwood. Yeah, there's a lot. Let me get to some other quick questions first. Salivating for the future Blacked Out Luxury and Hephaestus. Yeah, we were thinking about it, but it just didn't feel like it was the time to do it. But one day. What happened to the Oracle in the Greg Koch video from Wildwood? That was the original Oracle idea, and it had this noise that I couldn't chase out, and it drove me insane. So I decided, you know what? It's not really me. All the features and stuff are cool. It sounds really good, but it's just not me. So I shelved it and started over. I spent thousands and thousands of dollars developing it, buying all the parts to make it, and I have everything except for enclosures to do a bunch of them. And I just couldn't do it. I was so over it by the time I decided not to make it that it just felt right. And I've not looked back. Sorry. I've only had this much caffeine today, so still working on it. How much do you hate Brits who fry their meal? I don't hate anyone that does it. I hate the logistics of trying to fix it. I hate if something like that happens and then it's so hard to fix. You know, like I can do it. It's not a big deal, but you know, paying $30, $40 to send something back and forth, that just stinks. And there's always the risk of getting lost in the mail or something. It's not great, but I'm not mad at any person who does it. I'm frustrated at the process of trying to fix it and the difficulties therein. That is what is difficult. So the Wildwood and the normal Mjolnir. So the Wildwood is here. Can we do this? There's the Mjolnir. Here's the Wildwood. So the Wildwood is my Silver Clawn, serial number 1666, in a Mjolnir form. So I've done my hardest to completely copy the sonics of that Clawn. warts and all. Every sound that is in that Klon is in here. The knob placement is as close as we can get it. It sounds the same. The standard Mjolnir, it's weird, there's nothing here in my room. The standard Mjolnir is all the changes that I think make the Klon style circuit a little more everyman friendly. So it has a little less low mids, a little more bass on both the clean and the drive sound, a little less treble so it's not as bright even at noon. The gain, it has a real smooth transition, and it works better as an overdrive. I mean, this sounds great as an overdrive, but the standard Mjolnir is really tuned to be an overdrive as well. Whereas I don't feel like this excels at that as much as the standard Mjolnir does. This has the charge pump, so it converts 9 volts into 18 and negative 9 volts. Whereas the standard Mjolnir now does not, because we were fixing so many of these and fixing those that I decided, you know what, let's get rid of the charge pump, see how it sounds. I made a prototype. It sounded great, and decided that's the way to go. Actually works better as an overdrive because the op amp is clipping more and not staying completely clean like it does in here. So all you're hearing is those diodes sort of clipping. Is one better than the other for stacking? I assume you're talking about Mjolnirs. Not really. They stack about the same. Any thoughts on a Mythos Univibe? So we've been working on a Univibe. I hired Brian from Mad Bean Pedals to work on a Univibe, and it never really got where we needed it to, and so it's kind of just sitting in limbo right now. I don't know where he's at on it, but honestly, with the Fates, and I'm so happy with the Fates, I don't know if we're gonna really dive into the Univibe that quickly, but it's definitely something that we want to do. It's just finding the right time to do it. And a potential tube screamer. I don't know. I am taking delivery of a TS10 today, which is very exciting. So I have my entire collection over here, which is great. G and Kiko's home studio. Been playing your telly a lot through the big box. Hephaestus totally different with your than your Les Paul P90s. So many sounds, the volume knob, and the guitar does so much with that pedal. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you. I love the Hephaestus. It is so inspiring. It's one of the most inspiring fuzzes I've ever played. Chris Glover, Fates is incredible. Thank you. Tremolo, maybe. We'll see. Gonna go to Anderson's to grab a standard Mjolnir. That'd be great. But yeah. So, any other questions that we can keep the stream going? I'm just hanging out here. Again, we're doing 15% off the whole everything on the website. That's not Blackout. It's 15% off. The prices aren't reflective here, but when you click it and add it to the cart and then go to your cart, you'll see the price there. So if you're interested in anything, our dealers are doing 15% off too, so be sure to hit up any Mythos dealer that's participating. Hopefully everyone is. I heard that some of the UK guys hadn't switched it on yet, but maybe they were waiting or something. Do we powder coat and screen print in house? So no, none of our enclosures are actually screen printed. These are all UV printed, and they're powder coated and printed and milled and stuff, CNC'd by Jacob Adams over at F5 Metalworks. I've known Jacob for a long time, and he and I have become really close friends over the years. And he does amazing work. His team's great. So I've been using Jacob for a long time and hope to continue using Jacob for a long time. He's a good buddy. Jesse says that if you keep the gain higher than 25% on your Klon Gill Mjolnir, it cleans up for sure as more usable sweep on the game if you're going crunchy. Thank you, Jesse. And I agree. I think the standard Mjolnir sounds really good as all around overdrive. But yeah. So I was trying to think of some other things to do today. Wasn't gonna do the gear in review or like the week, week of gear. I don't really know what all has come out that is worth talking about. I mean, maybe some of the Blackout pedals, we could talk about those. I mean, there is the Lossy from Chase Bliss, which is, interesting altogether, not something that I'm interested in. Honey Picks, Rick, interested in the Olympus. Is there a big difference between the Standard and the Spartan series? Not really. I mean, like, there's a difference in construction. The Spartan series used all carbon compositors, WEMA caps, polystyrene caps, like everything that could be as bougie as possible within reason in modern production I used. And when we got the prototype of the surface mount version in the smaller box, it sounds almost the same. The smaller box actually has a little more gain and a little more low end. So it's a very, very cool and very musical sounding drive, and the difference between the big and the small box is nil. I love the big box pedal. I mean, like, this is my favorite enclosure size. This is a 1590 BB. This is an S, I think. Is the name of the height. But I love these. I mean, that's the Olympus and Oracle orientation, Wildwood. Yeah. This is I love the height and the feel of this box. I think it's really really great. JHS oil can. Yeah, I haven't even heard that one. Behind the scenes of the pedal factory and pedal assembly and shipping could be cool. Yeah, we could do that. I mean, it's not that interesting. But it's pretty straightforward, especially like shipping and stuff. Rick, you're welcome. Thank you. I do think the little more low end in the gain really helps it sit a little bit better. You think we might do a Hephaestus and larger enclosure? Oh yeah, I think so. But I mean, it's just such a good pedal and a shop favorite that we're definitely going to continue to do limited runs of everything in different enclosures and stuff. I know it's fun for you guys, and it's fun for us to mix it up. And I mean, to be fair, bigger pedals are easier to make than mini pedals. There's so much more of a headache that goes into making a mini pedal and making sure that all the jacks line up and making sure that we have the right tall potentiometers and everything. It's way more complicated, and not where it's like, that big of a pain, but it is a little more of a process to make a mini pedal than it is to make a big one. You're a big fan of Chase Bliss. Can't see any personal use for the Lossy. You worry that a lot of the pedals are now starting to become subtle variants on the same thing. I mean, yeah, I feel like that's very true. So, so the Chase Bliss Lossy. Let's pull it up here. Doink. I don't need emails, Joel. So the Lossy is effectively the Goodhertz plugin in pedal format, and it just apparently makes your music or makes your guitar sound like an MP3 ripped from a CD. Like a poor copy of a copy. It's a neat idea, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to use this to make cool sounds in music and stuff. But for me, why is it so close? Move that up. For me, it's just not something I'm interested in. It just doesn't really I would totally see using something like this as a plugin. And this is the most recent Dipped in Tone. Rhett and I get into this. We actually do an episode in person in this room, so very exciting. But yeah, like I see the value in this as a recording tool, as a production tool, as a studio tool, but I don't see it as a pedal for a pedal board, personally. I mean, like, the fact that it was a plugin makes a lot of sense. but it's neat. I think aesthetically it's cool. It's super cool looking. I love that the indicators on the knobs are pink. Like, come on, that's great. But yeah, just not. Chase Bliss pedals are not my thing. They're just that's not how I approach guitar or making music or anything. Yeah. A Mythos JHS collab? Yeah, maybe. Never say never, right? For the Zoomer that doesn't have access to a vintage VS840 to record their trap beats at 96 kilobytes per second. Yeah. The Lossy would work great in a wet, dry rig after reverb. Yeah, potentially. I mean, like, the thought of a wet, dry rig, like, stresses me out. I have zero interest in it, like, at all. I've never used amps in a wet dry setup. I've used multiple amps, but just daisy chaining amps into each other. I used to gig with a couple Dr. Z's, and I would run into the Carmen Gia, and then out of the second input on the Gia, I would run to a Maz. And it sounded great and huge, but never thought, I need this amp to be my wet sound and this amp to be my dry. Don't care. That's just not my thing. I get it. I get why it's cool, and I get why people do it. Not something I want. Any plans on Strat pickups? I mean, we may revisit the Strat pickup thing. For now, it is not something. It's just too. It's a little too expensive to get into the pickup thing right now. It was a big investment doing all this stuff, all the pickups. And I like doing it, but I feel like moving forward, we're just gonna have to see how it pans out to do pickups. Can I explain the difference between the Mass Street Music Mjolnir and how it's different from the original and the Wildwood? Okay, so the Mass Street is effectively the same circuit as the standard. It's all the same tweaks as the standard Mjolnir, but it has germanium diodes. Different PCB, which does sound a little different, but the different diodes give it a nice soft clipping, a little bit more compression when you crank the gain. But all the mods that are on the standard Mjolnir are represented in the Mass Street and the Joey Mjolnir. The Wildwood is my Klon Centaur, warts and all. It sounds exactly like my Klon, so the only mods to the circuit are mods that are representative of what the actual Klon that I have sounds like. Let's see. You have a fleece and love it. Would the Hephaestus work well with it on your board? Would you just be getting two flavors of the same thing? They do sound different when you goose them, right? They have a different personality when you run the Hephaestus all the way up, or the Golden Fleece is just, just have them both, this max fuzz, right? They do sound a little different. The Hephaestus just does so much more weird stuff. So if you want something where you experiment a little bit more, I could see having them both on one board. Are there big differences in P90s from different makers? There's big differences with everything from everybody. So yeah, for sure. Just because it's like a simple pickup doesn't mean that they all kind of end up samey. I mean, look at like Strats and Tellys. I mean, effectively very similar the construction. You'd think that all Strats and Telly pickups would be wildly consistent from people, but it's so different. How they're wound, the magnets, the material choices, everything makes a huge impact on the sound of a pickup. Yeah, well, Nicholas, you're gonna get some heated conversation from Rhett and I, and we're gonna start working them back in. We miss doing the interviews. The community has told us as such, and we're really gonna try to refocus Dipped. May end up moving away from Discord. Patreon. We have a Mythos Patreon. By the by, let's see. I like that you see like all the, if you are paying attention. There you go. So we have a Patreon. We have no tiers as of yet. We have just a free thing where we're posting, asking questions. This is going to be kind of like where we're going to try to transition stuff on Dipped in Tone as well, so the community can live on Patreon. Discord has been such a pain just trying to get it to work on our phones and stuff. Like, I got logged out on my phone and I can't get logged back in. I have to have like some authenticator app that's on an old phone that I don't use anymore. It's like, just let me log into the thing. So yeah, we're going to transition to that and hopefully be doing more stuff that keeps it a little more consistent. But anyway, we can talk about some of these blackouts from other companies on Reverb. I mean, there's the new DL4, really cool. Zor, which I have not heard yet. Interesting name, art. Oil can delay, really neat. I love oil can sounding stuff. And buy everything. It's all amazing. Thank you, Brett. I hate Discord too, Steven. Old Blood Noise phase repeater. It looks, man, it's wild. Space Ensemble Blacked Out from Death by $300. Why is it so expensive? Man, I don't know. Anywho, and then the Meraki from Walrus. Interesting. Very interesting. I'm curious about how this thing feels, but I'm not. I'm not buying any pedals for Black Friday. Not right now. Don't understand what the oil can thing is. So oil can delay was an actual like type of thing that let's see, a little Wikipedia. Yeah, Morley was one of the early inventors of this. Yeah, it's a rotating disc coated and electrostatic fluid inside a metal can. So it just had a total different mechanism to do the echo. So yeah, very, very different feeling, different sounding delay. You're not buying a $600 delay pedal. I mean, you know, hey, is what it is, right? You know, some people are into that. William just got a choop. Can't wait to hear it. Yes. Is there any other gear that I should talk about that's important? I mean, I want to focus on the Mythos stuff, of course. We, you know, want to have a big weekend, and I think we will. I think it's been going well. I'm real excited for all the people who've picked up stuff over the weekend. And thank you all. But Brett, no, I have. We're going. We're 38 minutes in. But just super happy with the response, especially the Blackout stuff. It's been really awesome. So thank you guys. Pedal collab with Ray Parker Jr. I would love to. He's an incredible guitar player. He really is. But yeah, doing collaborations with artists is it's hard. It's not as like easy as you would think. I mean, it depends. Like guys like Joey Landreth are probably the easiest to work with because I'll say, "How's this sound?" Just send him a phone video. He's like, "Do you like it?" Like, yeah. He's like, "Well, it sounds good to me. Let's do it." So, really great. I should treat myself to a burst. Ah, man. If only, right? If I could buy a burst, you know, if I had that sort of disposable income, I don't know if I would. You know, you'd have to be so rich to make that an investment that makes sense. Not that like I would love to own one, but like I'm not spending $300,000+ on a guitar. Did I talk about the Epiphone Greeny Les Paul yet? No. Why not? Let's talk about it. Epiphone. Kirk Hamlet. Greeny. let's see here. So, boink. Here they are. I think this thing is awesome. I think it's very interesting to see Epiphone. Why can I not zoom in on these photos? Why does none of this stuff work? Ugh. Screw that. Here, let's go to CME. A strong Mythos dealer. So I'm really excited that Epiphone is doing this. I think this guitar looks great. I can't believe they put a Gibson headstock on it. I mean, I think that's really awesome. I think it's really cool that they're doing this. I love that this guitar has, some of the same little attention to detail that I feel like really elevates it. The fact that it's got Grover tuners with these change keys so that it looks like a cheaper tuner, which would have been accurate, is really smart, really cool. I don't like the truss rod cover. Love the case. I like the emblem on the case, the little logo of this Epiphone and custom. I think it's really neat. But I think all in all, it's just a good looking package. Some of the top, strings off that. String is off that saddle right there. I've seen some photos on like Reverb and stuff of this guitar, and it looks really good. The tops look great. I think it's one of those guitars that's going to be one of something that people like really take time perusing stores and saying, oh, like I want to find the top and the one that really appeals to me, because like, let's see, this one looks good. Like what's wrong with that? I like that it's got a more traditional ABR looking bridge. I like, just like on the Flying V, the fact that it has a real Switchcraft switch. Like those are little things that really make the guitar feel a lot nicer and more higher end. I think it's really cool. They're going to be doing it on all the custom shop collaborations, the Epiphone Gibson open book headstock, which I think makes sense. I don't think the standard line needs it. But I think the thing that I like the most about the headstock is the fact that it's the small, more narrow headstock. It looks more like what a vintage Les Paul headstock would be. For that money, you can find a used Les Paul traditional. Yeah, but comparing new to used prices is not the same. That's the argument I saw a lot on the Epiphone Flying V video that I did, that, for that money, you could get this. Like, yeah, but you can't compare a new price to a used price. For the same money, new, you could get a Gibson, probably, right? You could get like a studio or something. Like, let's look. Les Paul. Let's just search real quick. Gibson, electric guitar, sort, low to high. So, in new, it has to be new. Used prices, it's not. Okay, so for about the same money, you could get one of these new Les Paul Modern Lights, which, to be fair, cool guitar. The lights are great. They're thinner. They have a bit of a belly cut. Really great option. But unless you go something like that, which is super stripped back, you can't get a new Gibson anywhere close. I mean, I don't even know, do they make the traditional anymore? Or is it just studios and then specials, juniors, and standards? So, I don't know. Like, I get it. I get the argument that for that money, you could get X, Y, or Z. And that's fine. But it's not just about getting any guitar. It's about getting that guitar. And if that's what you want, then you just kind of have to go for it. People are still moaning at me on YouTube about the Flying V, saying that it's just ridiculous that anyone would spend that much money on an Epiphone product. But you know what? The neck is great. The pickups are great. The pots are great. And if you go back just to the time where, like, to the models that would be comparable in price for a used Gibson compared to, just say, this Epiphone Kirk Hammett Flying V, you're going to get 300K pots, which need to be swapped. The pickups are probably okay at best. That has Grover tuners on it, so it's like, you're fine there. There's except for the finish and the fingerboard wood, the fretboard wood, there's not much of a difference. So if you get the thing that's interesting to you, that makes you happy as a guitarist, as a player, that has a lot of value. That's really important, and I think that's something that you can't overlook in the guitar space. I don't think that we get so caught up with numbers or dollar signs rather for gear, instead of focusing on like, oh, this is what I actually want, and maybe you don't want some goofy looking Les Paul traditional with the perimeter burst. Maybe you want something that looks like Greeny, and maybe you're gonna spend $1,500 on an Epiphone. But if it makes you happy, who cares? That's all. Oh man, Jonathan, been looking for a fuzz that has sub and up octave, basically 4 circuits, octaves off, sub on, up on, both on. Would you work on something like that? No. It's not my thing. If the Kevin Shields blender has it, then there you go. Just buy that. Not something that I am interested in, like throwing all that in a box. I feel like the combination of all the pedals we make, you could get a variety of those sounds. So you don't necessarily have to have one pedal that does it all, but that is a little too left to center for Mythos, I think, to really fit in the lineup. Anywho. Why does Gibson keep pricing their nicer guitars at $20K? The Adam Jones V is $20K. It's not even a reproduction of a famous guitar that he's played for more than a year. Oh, not even a reproduction. Yeah, I know this is $20K because it's $20K because it can be. That's it. It's $20K because it can be. So yeah, unfortunately, that's all it is. I'm gonna get back to Shopify, make sure everything's looking good on the inventory side of things. Let's see. Yeah, those Brazilian Les Pauls were 20 grand. And I don't know. I get it, I guess, because it's all because it can be. Like, does Brazilian wood make a guitar? Does Brazilian rosewood make a guitar sound better, feel better, play better? No. Is it cool to have it? Sure. Do I want it? Not really. I don't really care. But I don't get I understand if it's a limited run of a model that has really cool paint, or a really unique relicing or something, but yeah, it's like an extra. I mean, it's really an extra like $10K, because you can get a Murphy Ultra Age for like $9 or something, which is still a lot of money. It's ridiculous, but whatever. But another $10K for a Brazilian rosewood board, I think it's pretty dumb. It's dumb. Um, I don't get it, and I do think it would make maybe the slightest difference in tone, but not enough to warrant $10,000. So, um, Kim, promise myself not to get anything for Black Friday, but then you stumbled into the Blackout Golden Fleece. Well, thank you. We've only sold one Blackout Mjolnir. I'm shocked. That's wild. Seems like guitar manufacturers are trying to create guitar heroes. Well, yeah, of course. It's called marketing. If they manufacture gear that they can tie to an artist that can help sell that gear, then they're winning. They're making their money. So, of course, I believe in Tonewood, but I think that the impact of Brazilian versus an Indian rosewood on a Gibson custom shop would be so marginal that it does not justify the price tag in no way, shape, or form. The OG color of the Mjolnir is already elite. Yeah, I think the Mjolnir, like in custom colorways, at least in the standard, sometimes, it's like, are people tired of it? So, yeah, it's okay. Are Mythos amps something we could see in the future? Probably not. We had fooled around with it, but there's just no money in amps. It's just so expensive to manufacture a guitar amp, and service them and all this. It's just I don't know. I would definitely collab with a brand and do like a model if that's something that anyone would be interested in, but it is not something we're gonna stock and ship and sell. I wanted to for a long time, and just I don't think it makes I don't think it makes sense. So. Oh, there's so much Brazilian rosewood. I know it's like it's not common, but you can still get it. Like it's rare for a company as large as Gibson to use a lot of it, but I don't know. I don't think. Yeah. Friend of yours owns Jeff Beck's old conversion burst. Old PAFs sound really good, but man, what a price. Yeah. I mean, they're great. They're fantastic. I've played a lot of bursts, and I played some that I hated, but I've played a lot that I really liked. But that's really cool. What amp company would I collaborate with in a perfect world? Two Rock. I can't speak. Two Rock, for sure. You want a pedal maker to create a 1 or 2 knob small boost pedal specifically for neck only humbucker hollow bodies for mitigating any amp situation without being boring preamp. Man, what a specific pedal. um, so, well, I mean, I know Eli, but the time it would take to come up with something like that, and then the very small reach that I have, it doesn't make sense. And I would never ask Eli to make a Mythos amp or a Zach Broyles signature amp. That would not make sense. I'm not. I know that I don't have that level of pull to sell amps that would cost $4,000 to $6,000. But yeah. Well, any other last minute questions? I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to check out everything on mythospedals.com. Everything standard finish is 15% off. All the Blackout stuff just hit. We're going to be hanging out all weekend. Hopefully, everybody that wants to get one can get one. So, your main guitar is a 60s Gretsch. You recently picked up a custom shop Stratocaster. What would you suggest to use to adjust the level of the guitar's dedicated boost? Yeah, I mean, if you want everything to be even, then yeah, I get, something like a luxury drive would be a great option to keep everything kind of at a similar space. I am not a fan of that. I think that the beauty of owning different style guitars, different pickups, is they all sound different. If you want everything to be kind of one note, or not even one note, but just all at one space, I don't know. If it were me, I'd just play one guitar, But I think the best things that you can do is experience how different output and feel makes in relationship to everything else. So a luxury drive would be awesome to keep everything even. But for me, I would just play him. Billy has an Argo. Billy Gibbons does use an Argo occasionally, and he does have a Chupacabra. I texted him the other day, and we're just talking about some stuff. So hopefully, there'll be more Mythos pedals in Billy Gibbons' future. Fingers crossed, right? But he's such a nice guy, and just a really a gentleman in the guitar space for sure. Am I happy with my 335 now? Yeah. I really like it. So I pulled the custom buckers. I did something that if you guys saw me do it, you probably would have screamed screamed at me. I, instead of desoldering the pickups, they're custom buckers, they're expensive. I didn't feel like pulling all the wires and the pots and everything and dealing with that just terrible headache. I just pulled the pickups up and then cut the lead right at the body of the pickup. I know how to change it. I can add the lead back and extend it if I wanted to. But I added a terminal and then soldered that. I measured out the throwbacks to where if I were to solder them to the back of the pot, where they'd go. And then I cut it there, and then I put a little connector on it and just plugged them in to the little terminal, and I didn't have to take my guitar apart. So it was a very nice way to work on a 335. It was so much easier than having to pull the pots. But I put the throwback ER Customs, which just sound great. Here, I'll show you guys the set that I got. So here's Throwback's website. They're doing a sale, 20% off some of the DT 102 pickups, the Broadcaster pickups, Strat 63 MXV Strat pickups, and the Strange Master pedal. So go give John some love if you have the scratch. But I went with the ER Customs. This set, so the short A5 magnets, which is more like a patent number pickup, but John and Matthew over at Throwback both said that this is the set that would be best for 335. And when I described my problems, he said this is the one to get. So that's what I got. So a 7.9 neck, 8.3 all approximate bridge with short A5 magnets. They're real focused. They're kind of bright, but in a good way. They're very tameable. And then I had them flip the magnet in the neck, so they're out of phase. Really cool in the middle position. If you want to get rid of it, you just turn one of the volumes down, just one number, and it goes away. But they're fantastic. I also got the DS55s for my gold top Les Paul. These guys, which are effectively a copy of the very first PAF prototypes. They got long A4 mags, a little bit lower output, 7.3, 7.9. Oh, there's the Olympus demo with the DS55s in there. And it's just a great pickup, different. something fun, something you guys might not see every day. I would love to collaborate with Billy, but we're not there yet. Anthony, yes, John from EAE did basically do all the design work on the Oracle. You know, I threw all the ideas at him, all of that, but he actualized it, and he's just a wizard. And what a nice guy. What a nice guy. What? Okay. I get emails from Blair from Eastside, and like it just says Blair, and I don't know if it's like a personal email or it's a newsletter. It's funny. Um. Uh. Oh, your stepmother gave you a ZZ Top Greatest Hits vinyl signed by all three members. Probably Shadowbox that. Very cool. Yeah, that's great. And even more special now that Dusty is no longer with us. Very sad. Corey, hey man, how's it going? Do I ever use an EQ pedal? No, I have no interest in an EQ pedal. Because I mean, you guys have to remember, I don't gig. I don't even have a pedal board that I use on the regular. I just throw stuff in the floor for me, because my pedal boards always get torn apart and used for like shows, like trade shows and events and things like that, not for me to have a board. And for the most part, my taste for a board is really, really simple, really minimal. So my amps sound how I want them to sound. Everything in here, you know, the Victory, the 2-Rock, the Soldano, the PRS back there, the other 2-Rock, my Deluxe Reverb, really. That every single one of those amps has their own personality. You got a gig for me next year. Yes. I can actually have a reason to practice guitar. But sorry, my phone is blowing up. But I have no use for an EQ, because I EQ the amps and I'm happy. I've always said, if like you feel like you need something to always be on, and not use it as an effect. Like I've used EQs as an effect to do like an AM radio thing and stuff back in the day, but then if your amp needs that much help, you probably just need a new amp. So always a big fan of letting the amp be exactly what you want your sound to be. So Richard Clark, Corey inspired me to start practicing again. I noticed he was getting almost as good as me. Yeah. Every time I watch Corey play, if I see him at a gig or watch one of his videos, I'm always kind of just put in place when I think I'm getting better, and then I watch Corey. I'm like, oh no, I need to practice. Go buy some of his video courses. That's what you should do. And Corey's the best. He's a really nice guy. Looking for a Vox style amp, type amp. You didn't even say style. I just made that up. Is the Victory better than the current Vox offering? I mean, the Victory's different, right? So the copper, it's right there. The DC35, that's the lunchbox one. It does sound Voxy, but it doesn't at the same time, which is interesting. Like a Vox AC30 reissue, you know, sounds Voxy. Does it sound like an old AC30? No. Does it have that sort of personality and character enough to get you by if that's the sound you want? Absolutely. But I don't know. I just wanted something. I know the Victory guys. I know Martin and all those guys, and Lee, of course. And I appreciate what they do. I like what they do. I think they make really good stuff. And so I got that from them. And I really like it. It does have a Vox flavor, but to me, it's a little more interesting than your average Vox amp. So, oh, Corey got a new course launch today. Awesome. So go check it out. Go to Corey's, I assume, here, let's see. We'll find it. No, not that. This. We'll find it together. Look at that. Pow. Zap. Look at him. That handsome mug. Go to CoreyCongilio.com. Check it out. Look at all this stuff. Man, your website's nice. Looks nice. The Blackout pedals are excluded from the sale. They're not part of the 15% off. Just because we don't have a ton of them, and we just decided not to put them on sale. I don't know. Bro, nope, wrong site. Okay. Link me, Corey. What is it? I want to share it. That's not the Corey Congilio we all know and love. You'd wait for a Friedman Classic Series Vox style. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Dave and company would make a great amp, but they would call it something horribly offensive. Which is, I don't know, it's kind of their MO, right? Like, I get it. It's cute. But it's just, I don't know. I don't like the names of stuff that they give. Like, the Dirty Shirley, like, that one's okay, all right, Buxom Betty, like, Pink Taco, like, I draw a line. Brown Eye, ugh, don't like it. Like, why? I don't know. Like, I know, like, if you guys know me, you know that I have a sense of humor that's weird and messed up. Like, if you watch Matthew and I, especially watch our live streams, you'd see how, like, wacky and weird and messed up my sense of humor can be. But yeah, like, those things just I would never name a product any of those things, you know. Corey, what's your site? Let's see, is it on your website? Oh, Working Class Guitar, is this it? Aha. Here we go. Yeah, there it is. That's it. This was on your YouTube. One more link. There we go. Go get a course from Corey and learn something. Would ya? It's Black Friday. It's time to get better at guitar. You got to justify all this gear you're buying, right? You got to practice it up. In my dumb hand, always when I play air guitar, I always look like an idiot. I mean, I look like an idiot anyway, but oh, there we go. Sorry, I wasn't scrolling up. When we were developing the Skylark, the Lark pedal, did you try the Gibson amps inspired pedals such as the Nocturne Brain? No, I just played Rhett's Lark or Skylark amp to develop the Lark. I think you should leave. I've seen some of it. It's funny. Anywho. Well, we've been streaming for over an hour. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. 85 people watching right now. It's awesome. I love that the YouTube thing is taking off, and maybe as a way of kind of ending the stream, I can just talk about what I'm hoping to accomplish in this next year. I really want YouTube to grow our business. I think the Nauticlon from JHS was a real wake-up call or it should have been a real wake-up call for every guitar pedal manufacturer to get their ass in line and make YouTube content, because that 20,000 pedals as of the other day. I mean, he might have exceeded that now. You know, that would not be possible without YouTube and JHS's YouTube channel. I mean, JHS had a strong brand before YouTube, but like Like, think about that. One of the most iconic pedals of all time. Like, regardless of if you think it is important or not, it's still one of the most iconic pedals, the Klon Centaur. He sold more in a matter of days than were ever produced originally. And we've sold a lot of Mjolnirs over the years, but nowhere near that number. And it's just remarkable. And I mean, I see what you guys are saying. It's marketing genius. The market's hungry for cool stuff. Like, it's not like, I mean, doing kits, the kit, the way he did it is interesting, and that is smart. I don't think that, it's not innovative. It's not new or different. It's just a risk that they were willing to take. But obviously, it paid off in strides. I don't know if the market is really, like, wanting cool stuff is one thing. And finding your lane is one thing. But just being able to exist when you don't have any interest in those things, that you don't want to make a hologram style pedal, or you don't want to make a Chase Bliss, or you don't want to, I don't know. It's just an interesting thing. And I think that all of that goes to show that every brand needs to double down on YouTube. So I feel like we're going to see a lot of that. I feel like we're going to see a lot of brands go away. But it's a very curious thing that 2024 is going to be, I think it's going to be a really telling year for a lot of brands. I think we're going to see a lot of people come into this space. I think we're going to see a lot of people go out of this space. So I'm very, very curious as to how this next year is going to pan out. But I know for Mythos, one of the things we're going to do, it's really hard for me to ignore the comments that are popping up. One of the things that we're going to do is double down on YouTube completely. I'm going to try my best to make more content outside of the shop, while doing more stuff in the shop, stuff that's not just related to pedals. I know a lot about a lot of classic gear, and there's a lot of myths that still exist in the guitar space that I want to dispel and talk to you guys about. Make the content that hopefully you guys are interested in watching. I kind of want to bridge the gap between what I already do, what guys like Adam Savage on Tested does, and what JHS does, while being still true to myself, while still not holding back with my opinions, being honest. I want the honesty to be the one thing that's a through line with everything we do. But anyway, Mythos pedal history when? Yeah, I'll do that too. It's on the list. More Ghostbuster content. Well, yeah. I don't think there's a need for that on the Mythos YouTube channel. I thought a long time about trying to start another channel called Mythos Makes, where I make stuff and film that process. But what I've found for me is, while I'm making things, I don't want to film it. I want it to be my time. So yeah. Everyone click like. Yeah, if you want to, that'd be awesome. If you click like, it'll help the stream and the other video after the fact too. Dormant, thank you. I just want to share what I know. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, that's what YouTube is so great at. Jonathan, Dips and Tone, we're going to do a lot more stuff, just Rhett and I. We're going to try to circle that in every, third or fourth episode for sure. What about a Mythos Ghostbuster pedal? Well, we've done that. We do that. The Positron and Positron Collider. And funny enough, keep your eyes peeled on for your email for Mythos newsletters throughout the weekend, because we do have a few more positrons that got completed. We got a few extra enclosures. I filled every order. I'm saving a few just in case stuff gets lost in the mail, because inevitably that will happen. But yeah, very very exciting because we might drop a few more of the positron colliders. Did I pre-order the Ghost Trap and the PKE meter? Yes, of course. First day. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I appreciate you. It's fun to fly solo on a live stream. Oh, did Adam Savage ever talk about the positron pedal? No. I talked to Adam about it when I saw him earlier this year at that con, and he said he was going to use it on a video. But the thing that I didn't even think of is, while he has so much stuff, he probably didn't realize that it doesn't have a battery in it. So he just knew who it was, and he put my face to the product and the pedal and the gift, and that was worth it for me. He was he was so nice in the little interaction we had, that it was really great. I was very humbled to meet him, and I hope to meet him again one day. I would love to get him on Dipped in Tone. That would be really neat. But anyway, thanks again for hanging. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Find all the deals. Be sure to go to mythospedals.com. Get 15% off all the standard models. And if you want a Blackout pedal, we'll have them up until they're gone. So, yeah. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.